Okay, so today we're going to add mixed numbers. And I'm going to show you how to do that using a fraction bar model. Okay, let's get right to it. We're going to go with 3 2/3 plus 2 2/3. Looks simple enough. Let me show you what I'm talking about when I say bar models. So I have this mixed number, and the first thing I want to do is check to make sure my denominators are the same, which they are. I have a 3 here and a 3 here. So now I can model out this top number. So it looks like this.
Miss Anderson, if you please call or come by the front office.
2, 3. Those 3 whole bars represent my whole number 3. And I need one more bar. Why, you might ask? Well, because I need to represent this fraction here. And that fraction is in thirds, so I'm going to make that bar into thirds. And I'm going to put a dot in 2 of those. So I have 2/3. 1, 2, 3 holes and 2/3. Makes sense? Good. Let's do the same thing for the bottom. 2 holes. A good thing to remember is when you're making the bars is always make one more than your whole number, because you have to represent the fraction. So I have 2 whole bars. I'm making one more to represent that fraction, which is in thirds as well. And how many thirds is that one? That one's 2 as well. So now that I have all my fractions, all my mixed numbers modeled, I can add them together. And we always fill in to the top. So we're going to take, we have 2 here, or 2/3 here and 2/3 here. I only need 1/3 to make this into a whole number. So I'm going to take this 1/3 out, put it here, and now this essentially becomes a whole. And this becomes 1/3, right? 1 out of 3. So now I can count on my bars. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whole bars and 1/3 fraction. So if I come over here, my answer is going to be 6 and 1/3. I check 1/3. Obviously, it has a 1 in the numerator, so it's going to be very hard to simplify it because it is already simplified. So my answer is 6 and 1/3. Now let me show you how to do that same problem with no model. And I'm adding, so I can just add down. And I always work with my fractions first, right? I like to separate my whole numbers and my fractions. Pretend that line is straight. 2 plus 2 is 4, so I have 4/3. Now I know that 4/3 is a certain kind of fraction. I'm not going to tell you what kind of fraction it is because you should know. But I need to change it. I need to make that fraction into a mixed number. So in order to do that, I have to divide those numbers. Okay, I need to change this into a mixed number. I cannot have this improper fraction. Ooh, I said it. So how many times does 3 go into 4? It goes 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. I'm going to subtract. Excuse me. So here I have the 3 numbers that will make up my mixed number. The number on top is always your whole number, which is going to be 1. The 3 is my denominator. And whatever you have left over, which in this case is 1, is my numerator. So my new mixed number from 4/3 is now this number, 1 and 1/3. That's my mixed number. So I can come over here to my problem, and let me give me some room here, and I can add 1 and 1/3. Now since I've already added my fractions, I can stop there, and now I can add my whole numbers, right? Because 3 plus 2 is not 1. I have to add all 3 of these whole numbers together. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. And then I have my 1/3. My answer is 5 and 1/3.